Hello, and welcome to Post Walk Weekly. Well, not quite weekly. I am Amma, and it is day 388. My cat, Lombardi, was sitting on my notebook, of course. Say hello, Lombardi. Yeah. It is day 388 of Putin's war of aggression in Ukraine. And I have decided that with my podcast and my book being up on Patreon, my YouTube, I'm a poor video artist, so this is like the least important thing. But we have to celebrate today because yesterday Putin was charged by the International Criminal Court of war crimes, and there is a warrant out for Putin's arrest. And this is something to celebrate. I don't see Putin coming to court. I just think it was so important that the issues of the war crimes were acknowledged, and I went online to do a little research how this came about, and the prosecutor at the International Criminal Court in The Hague said, his name is Karim A.A. Khan KC. And part of his statement, he says, we cannot allow children to be treated as if they are the spoils of war. Thank you. Thank you for that. An arrest also, warrant was also put out for Maria Lvova-Belova. Pretty crazy lady from the looks of her. And she is the head of something in the Putin government that's supposed to be dealing with children and stealing them and sending them away is not the way they're supposed to be dealt with. A couple more notes from this case, because I remember, as you know, I watch nightly, basically, the addresses by President Volodymyr Zelensky, and he has talked about going to the International Criminal Court, and he's talked about war crimes have to be recognized and prosecuted. And it turns out that this judge or this prosecutor submitted to the court on February 22nd of this year, his application for a trial. And he also told the UN Security Council last September that they were investigating these crimes. And I think this will be an amazing movie, actually. Who is all involved in this? And I checked it out. The Prosecutor General of Ukraine was involved. There was a joint investigation team which was assembled or part of by Eurojust. And I looked that up. Most of the countries of Europe are in it. Thank heavens Greece is in it. Not Serbia, maybe I shouldn't mention that. He also says in his remarks, we will not hesitate to submit further applications for warrants when the evidence requires us to do so. So, the deaths in Ukraine pile up. So many Russians now. Over 160,000 Russians, men, for sure have been killed. The number of wounded, it has to be over 500,000. I don't know about the Ukrainian soldiers killed. We hear occasionally about services for some of the more famous people because everyone went. No matter how important they were and what they did in their life. Most Ukrainian men and a lot of women are putting their lives on the line right now. So we have to pray for them. We have to pray for an end to this. The sooner, the better. At least these arrest warrants show some consciousness of the rest of the world not to just ignore these war crimes, especially with children and teens, possibly thousands being stolen. Thank you for listening. In the notes, I will put my links to my book, which is available up on Patreon, and my podcast, which I now do 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. The podcast is called Say Something, Poetry with Merakis. And the book is called 3 Million Footsteps. Be well.